Hi, this is Mandy with the Daily Crochet, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do a granny square. Now, most people usually make 4 chains and then they make that into a circle and then they work their stitches into that. But what I like to do is use the magic circle just like I do with amigurumi. It's a lot easier and a lot quicker. So you start doing the magic circle, just like I showed you in my other video. My cat's going to join us. Okay. Now to start the granny square, you're going to do double crochets inside the magic circle. So you need to do a chain of 3 to do your first double crochet. This is going to count, because see, when you make your double crochet it's going to come up higher than if it was just a single crochet. So this just kind of anchors it. Then you do yarn over and through the loop, pull it through, and you have 3 chains or 3 loops on your hook. You yarn over, pull it through 2 loops, you have 2 more loops on your hook, yarn over, pull it through. Now these are considered shell chains, and you do a set of 3 double crochets, which the chain of 3 counted as a double crochet. So now we have 3 double crochets here, and then we're going to do 2 chains. And now what that does is it allows us to make another shell in the next row, so it has room for you to work in, and I'll show you that here in just a second. So now after you do the 2 chains for the corner, you're going to yarn over and do a double crochet, yarn over, double crochet, double crochet till you have 3 again. Then you do another chain of 2, yarn over, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet. Sometimes you lose your yarn and you gotta start that stitch over again. Okay. Now do 2 more chains. And then 3 more double crochets, and I'll show you here in just a second how it's going to turn out. Sorry about that. This is my second double crochet in this group. I had to redo it. Okay. Now that we have 4 sets of 3 double crochets, we pull the tail nice and tight. It doesn't have to be too tight. You can leave a little bit of a circle in the middle. And then we chain 2. And then we're going to do a slip stitch. You go into this chain, just go into the V, don't go underneath. It'll hold the stitch in place. And you pull it through, and instead of yarning over, you pull it through one more time. Now we have the middle of our granny square, and I don't know if you can tell with this granny square, but see the 4 groups of double crochets. That's what that is. And then we're going to do 3 chains, just like we started with the magic circle, and that counts as a double crochet. Now you're going to turn over your work so that you're working into this corner. You see where we did the 2 chain stitches? Now you don't have to go into the V's with this. You just yarn over and go right into the corner. You don't have to worry about going into the V's or worrying about going into each of the stitches or anything like that. And you do 2 more double crochets because the chain 3 counted as a double crochet. Now this is going to be a corner, so we're going to do 2 more double crochet or 2 more chains, then double crochets, 3 more double crochets right into that same corner that you worked on these first 3 in this row. Double crochet, double crochet, double crochet. Now you have another corner up here where there's a hole. You can stick your finger right through it. Now to go on to this corner, since in between this set of double crochets and this next set is not going to be a corner, you only do 1 chain. Okay? And I'll show you why when we get on to the third row. Now you work right into this corner the same way that we did before. Double crochet. And you don't have to do a chain for that since you already have the height of the row with this. You only do the chain when you start a new row. Double crochet, double crochet. Now we're working on another corner, so we do 2 chains. Okay. Now I remember that because you do 2 chains for a corner because you put 2 shells into each corner. Now the 3 double crochets makes a shell. And then you only do 1 chain because you're only going to do 1 shell in here. See, in this granny square we did the first row, and then you do the 2 shells, and then you do 1 shell, and then you do the 2 shells in the corner. Okay, now I finished that row on my own just so I could show you how to end a row and then start another one. You do just like we did at the end of the magic circle row, and you do a slip stitch right into this top stitch of your chain 3. You go into the V and pull it through and pull it through again, and then you would chain 3 and then turn over, and now you're starting in the middle where you only do 1 shell, so you only do 1 set of triple crochet or double crochets, 3 double crochets, and the chain of 3 counts as 1, and then you do 1 single crochet. Since this isn't going to make a corner right here, we're going to go into this corner, do 2 sets of double crochets over here. And I'm just doing this quick so I can show you the main points of it. Now you can do a granny square as big or as little as you want, and you can do a granny square any way you want, really. I mean, instead of doing the shell stitches, you could do puff stitches. You can make a star in the middle of your granny square. You could do anything. And there's plenty of patterns out there for different granny squares. And I'll make sure that I post them on my blog for you guys to look at if you're interested in making this. But the granny squares can be used for anything. I've seen them used to make sweaters, tote bags, Afghans obviously. You can make anything. I mean, you can make washcloths, anything. But I'm not really one to make granny squares very often. I usually do amigurumi when I'm crocheting. So that's the granny square.